Welcome to today's edition of Lama Drives, again where Veronica is driving. How you doing, Von?
I'm concentrating for a moment.
Excellent. Well, you concentrate while I introduce what we've been up to today. We went and did the ride Daylesford. Was it a Grand Fondo? It's a charity ride, community ride, just organised ride, which wasn't a race, but it was timed, but wasn't a race. One of those, just big community events. Not too far from home, 45 minutes from home in the car, 7:30 a.m. start this morning.
That's very reasonable.
We're okay with that. So 140, well, I'll read you the stats out that we've got here. It was 146 kilometres.
Yeah.
We did it in 5 hours 18. So average speed of 27.62. Now that's not really indicative of the speed that we did early on.
No.
31 kilometres an hour for the first 3 hours because the wind was going that way. Sort of the wind was with us, but it was very hilly.
Yes, it was a very hilly ride.
We also rode across, this happens all the time when we're in Victoria because we've raced so many places around here over the years. There were, I think, 3 race courses that we rode over today. So I was familiar with small sections of the ride.
Yeah, some of those routes were very familiar. Yeah.
The Castlemaine time trial, the Newstead TT and the State Masters champs from a few years back, we all took in a part of those routes. Good to see. Great. It's the gold mining triangle, or the golden triangle of Victoria here, where pretty much what Victoria was founded on.
Yeah.
Brilliant landscapes. And so today I thought we'd just have a Lama Drives about our ride today. So back to the stats here. Maximum speed 83.78 without even pedalling. There was one downhill descent, which was...
It just dropped. It was like straight.
And you could see it too, so there was no corners. It just bombed straight down. You got into a tuck and just held the bike just becomes rock solid, and that was fun.
Yeah, there was some crosswinds through there, so I was like I was careful where I was sitting on the road in case it blew me sideways, but yeah, weight on the front wheel, heading
Everyone
down.
had fun.
I was spinning my legs just to keep turning. It was great.
Average watts for today, 171 watts. Normalised, I think, was 215 or something like that. Actually, normalised here, 219.
Yeah.
Training stress score of 281, but I'm not sure my FTP is correct in here.
You were doing my pace today.
Yeah, well, you were doing my pace on the flats. I was driving the flats. Where I excel is the time trial side of things. So flat, long, straight, consistent, one speed, bang, just get it done. And Von knows how to hold my wheel, and I'm a very familiar wheel with Von, and vice versa.
Yeah.
So we can swap turns, or Von can just hold wheel at really good pace.
Yeah.
So we got a lot of the kilometres done super quick, just out of the way before we went to the hills. Then we just sort of ticked up the hills. Some of those hills were nasty. But I've also got, ready for it, left-right balance of 50-50.
Woo!
It's always happy days.
Ding, 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 ding. We need to alarm bells going off.
So there's today's stats. I'll link below to my Strava ride and Veronica's Strava ride of what we've just done. If you just want to have a look, we'll put some photos up from the day as well. So that's heaps of fun. There's rest stops, or there's food on every 30 kilometres or so.
Yeah.
So the question is, Von, did you finish with more food than you started with?
Oh, yeah, I think I took a banana for a ride.
You took a banana, so you started with a banana and finished with the banana. Okay, well, here's my stash. Our goal for these supported events, which you pay a significant entry for, are fully supported by different companies, and they'll have food laid out. So you'll take food with you.
Yes.
We'll talk about nutrition strategy in a moment. But our goal is to finish with the same amount of food in our pockets, if not more, because it's a sponsored event. You know, we pay for our entry.
We paid for
so
our food.
I broke even, but I
Did you get upgrades?
I don't know. Well, I guess it's choice. Okay, you tell me if it's an upgrade or not.
Okay.
So I started off with 2 Cadell's Winners bars.
Yeah.
And I think that's about it. So I might have...
Did you take any gels or...
No gels.
Banana?
No banana. 2 full bottles, 1 mix, 1 water. And we'll talk about exactly the strategy there in a sec. But I finished with a Cadell's bar. That may have been my original. Awesome. I have a Cadell's Espresso Instant Energy Gel. So I got a gel. I saw coffee gel. So I went...
Is that new?
I don't know. I'm not sure it actually contains caffeine. I wasn't sure Winners did caffeine gels. There we go. It's not an advertisement for Winners, but I should have pocketed a ton of them. 80 milligrams of caffeine. Give or take a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
And a protein bar. So I think I was up with that.
Nice.
I did have a ton of carrot cake they had there.
That was good.
No water stops because it was quite chilly today. It was pretty cool. I didn't do a lot of water. We did stop for a coffee in
only refilled one of my bottles, so
Okay.
I effectively drank probably 2 and actually, what's left in here?
I'd go a quarter. Nutrition strategy for today. I'll talk about mine. Von, chip in with yours.
Sure.
Mine was breakfast this morning. Well, it started yesterday. I had pizza for dinner. Excuse to carb load. Breakfast this morning, which was cereal and sultanas and a coffee. Over here to the start, within 45 minutes, we were pretty much on the bike straight away and rolling.
Yep.
First hour or so, I just sips of drink, nothing to eat. Bang on that hour, I start taking in carbs. Now, I won't go into exactly what weighting of carbs or something like that, but my first hour was one of the Cadell's bars. Hang on, I'll find out the Mountain Mix bars, which is something like 34 grams per serving. The 34 grams of carbs, there you go, 34 grams. One of those every half hour from there on in. And at the stops, which were about every half hour paced out, it was a piece of fruit cake or something like that. But I just keep, as long as it's regular intake, you're never going to be able to replenish what you use out on the road. Regular intake. So the first hour, to me, I say the first hour is free because you've already just carved up for breakfast. You got some
if
stores.
you start pretty soon after breakfast.
Oh, and also no gels for me because we weren't going that hard today. If we were racing flat out on the limit, gels, because you can't even chew. You do races that are so hard you can't actually put food in your mouth and chew.
And
because
you don't salivate even.
Yep, so that's just gels, swallow, water, done. That's how you get through big races. Maybe longer races, you put fruitcake and water and try and swallow that. It gets a bit disgusting, but it's just about intake and go. Today, we did have time to chew bars. So every half hour from there, drink-wise, just sipping even when I wasn't thirsty. Because by the time you're thirsty, it's too late. You will cramp and you can't, if you've cramped or you're slightly dehydrated by just a few percent, you're never going to be able to replenish that. Like if you're cramping in the leg, I better have a hydrolyte or something with carbs and mix. It's game over. So that's how I got through today. One of my longest rides in a while, and probably one of your hardest rides in a while.
Yes.
Your strategy for food, Von.
Yeah, so I've been a little bit sick recently, so I found my cardio has been struggling on the bike. So we had a few punchy hills as well in
a few. That's an understatement.
So it would really kick me in the chest as well, and I was clearing my throat a lot during it. Yep. So I think this one's going to linger for a little while. Mm-hmm. I'll have to pace and adjust how I work with this moving forward, which we can talk about at another time, working through sickness.
Yep.
But yeah, my food strategy was similar. Mm-hmm. I just remembered though, at one point where we said, I'm going to have a couple of fruit chews that I was munching on. I said, I'll have my bar later. I didn't end up eating that bar later, and that's when I died. Going into lunch.
Well, that's what catches you out. Your rhythms that you're used to. We were up early, so we had an earlier lunch-ish. Well, we rode over lunch. And that's a big problem that I had with the Mount Borbor race and also Tour of Bright for one of the stages before they started really early, that you'd be riding through the time that your body wanted lunch. And you'd get hungry out on the bike and you're like, oh, that's being hungry. It's race over.
Yeah.
If you're hungry on the bike, unless it's short, sharp, 5-minute punch effort. If you've got a longer sustained effort, say Toowoomba Gap, over lunch, when you're hungry, 20 minutes all out, above threshold, that's just nasty. So today was over lunch. It was just about constant update.
And I felt...
Top up, update. I'm computerized.
Yeah, I definitely felt when we did the coffee stop at 100 kilometres that I needed something salty. So for the Aussies amongst us,
True
I had
Aussie
some
style
Vegemite toast.
Mm-hmm. It solves the world problem.
Yeah,
solves the world's
it was
problems.
nice and salty.
Yep.
That was great, actually. And then we had the carrot cake. That was good. And
I
coffee.
had 5 pieces of that carrot
Really?
cake. The last carrot cake stand, there was nobody else there at the stand. And I thought, I'll just do a ride through. Because like people are hanging their bikes up, walking over. I'm like, I'll just ride through.
I saw you go in there.
Yeah, you know what happened?
What?
I nearly knocked all the snakes off with my bars. Because I've gone in there, grabbed the cake, knocked the snakes. I almost put like 3 or 4 kilos of snakes, lolly snakes, onto the ground.
Hilarious.
Dickhead me. Yeah. Anyway, it was cool.
Yeah.
Snakes are fine.
That
No
was the
snakes.
last-
No snakes were hurt.
Was that the very last
That
one?
was the very last
well,
one.
that very last one, I was so like, I felt like I needed some
maybe
kind of
something-
sugar.
Vitamin C. Vaughn, were you lacking in vitamin C for that last stop?
I saw cut up oranges, and it was just like a light had turned on in me, and I literally was just like squeezing orange
I'm like,
quarters
hey, Vaughn,
into
let's
my
go.
mouth.
I look over,
like,
and then Vaughn's got this. Vaughn has this orange smile. With what? I'm like, let's go. We've got like 3 kilometres to get home. Only 3. Let's keep going. Sheep patrol.
Yes. So
Lots of sheep patrol today.
We saw lots of. Oh, there were some good-looking sheep out there.
There was some. You sound like a New Zealander.
No, they were really fluffy.
They were. You still sound like a New Zealander. So, lack of alpacas. There was a lack of alpaca.
No,
But there was a
not
lack of
that
alpacas and those llamas out today. We saw emus.
Many. Yes, I saw emus.
Emus,
They were fenced in.
which are giant flightless birds.
Yes.
A little bit like an ostrich, but these ones will probably peck your eyes out and kill you, like everything else in Australia.
They're so vicious looking
They
as
are.
well. When they look at you, they're like giving you the stink eye.
Emus. Well, you know about the Great Emu War.
No.
We'll go into that another day. Links below to the Great Emu War here in Australia.
Crazy. Yeah, so that was my food strategy.
Cool.
Then we got to the finish line.
Yep.
And we had a baked potato.
Baked potato, so good carbs, bit of fat mixed in with the greasy, oily stuff that was with that. And that was good. So carved up. It's that 15-minute window straight after an event as well when you're depleted. That's where your body will just soak up all that for tomorrow. So
Yeah.
good stuff. Awesome. Also good to see Lee Hollywood on the mic.
Yeah.
If you don't follow Hollywood, I'll link below to his Instagram. He's the guy with 200 kits, I think.
There'd be more than that.
Ex-president of the St Kilda Cycling Club, just a general personality. Like he loves cycling, loves it, but also loves a laugh and loves just. Check out his social media. He'll pretend to attack a bunch. He's not taking everything serious. So if you look at him from his serious eyes, you're like, oh, what an idiot.
Yeah.
But no, Hollywood is absolutely brilliant. He was the MC today. As we rolled out, he called us the Mayor and Mayoress of Ballarat, which is quite embarrassing because we're not. I got a high five as we're passing the line. So just knowing the people behind the events was really cool. But not only us, he was high-fiving anyone and everyone. And everyone, he was making everyone feel special finishing that event, because 147 kilometres or the 63 or the 47, whichever you did, like there's some big challenges there that people ticked off today.
Yeah, it was a beautiful course.
It was. So that was today. I'll chop in a few of the videos here and here and here of some of the key points. But no, it was about pre-planning, so training leading up, just getting time in the saddle, not just 45-minute indoor workouts. I've been outdoors riding, tracking the TSS, bumping that, just being consistent with my training. This was an overreach for sure because it was 5 hours. I haven't done 5 hours on the bike for a long time. But with the right nutrition, right planning, bike prep last night. Yep. Take us through your bike preparation.
I left mine on the kicker till this morning when I put the wheel on to put it on the roof.
Okay, that didn't quite go as planned to be informational and helpful for the people. So, my bike preparation, which became part of Vaughn's bike preparation as well. So I went over both our tyres, just there's some runners on the road here in the middle of nowhere. Good on them. Ultra runners. They really are ultra dudes.
Yeah.
Went over the tyres looking for any specks or any indication of punctures or flats or anything like that. They were fine, so the tyres were good to go because, again, 5 hours in the saddle out in the middle of nowhere, you're going to be stranded. Saddlebags were checked. Tyres were pumped up to the correct pressures. We're both using 80 psi with the tubeless setup that we have now. What else? My chain was oiled. Did you oil your chain at all?
No, I couldn't find the oil.
Okay, so Vaughn's chain wasn't oiled.
I was going to oil my skewer as well because that seems to be creaking a bit.
I actually did that myself. The front skewer, if you ever find your skewers creak when you...
Yeah.
If you're on a through axle, then good luck to you. we're still on quick release.
That might have been a jealous good luck, actually.
Yeah, that's exactly. We're pretty chipper for after having ridden nearly 100 miles. So I oiled my skewer yesterday. Funny you mentioned that. So I've got that done. So you can just put a little bit of oil on where the mechanism actually bends down. It'll stop it from creaking, and you can also just get a little bit more tightness in it as well if it slides in.
It's just a nice little, yeah.
So that was mine. What else? And a full wipe down, full clean, just inspection of the bike. Also, I tightened my headset as well. I hadn't taken the headset apart
How
for
do
a
you
while.
know when you need to tighten your
So
headset?
if you put your front brakes on and you feel the clicking, or you're going over, you know that, you know when you,
Okay.
if you rock your bike, if you put your front brake on, stand on front of you and rock it back and forward, if there's any clicking in there, your headset may be a little bit too loose, and you'll find it out on the road, on a smooth road, on a bumpy road, you'll never notice. But if you're on a smooth road,
I have felt that in the past, like a long time ago.
Yeah,
and
so
I've recently had all of
yep.
my bearings and headset
fixed up. Yeah, you took your bike in for a full overhaul a couple of months back. Yeah, so they would have looked at that. So I did that on the Giant, and it was fine. It was happy days. I still have to change the bar tape over.
So
There's a competition on the skate park.
Yeah.
Rad.
So it's an indoor skate park.
So we're currently in Creswick.
Yeah.
Nice little town.
This is a cute town.
Good coffee too. It's always good coffee. So that was my bike maintenance, just to make sure. Look, it's the same as if I was going for a 20-kilometre ride because I want to get home. I don't want any issues out on the road. So, but it was a good reminder for me to, hey, there's 5 hours in the saddle coming up. Let's get that sorted. So that's done. The bike should be good to go. No issues with the bike at all, except I was going to use the Fly 6 CE. My video yesterday or the day before, depending on when you're watching, maybe the other week, who knows, on the rear dash cam, the butt dash cam from Cyclic that I reviewed. And just gave my rundown of my usage of it and comparing it to the camera we're using right here, the GoPro Hero 7.
Mm-hmm.
I went to use it because, again, I use the products that I have and talk about, and I wouldn't call it a review, it was just a discussion about my experience. I wanted to continue using it and grab some footage for today. Cool, it was on the bike, ready to go, fully charged, SD card, formatted. I was going to bump it up to 1080, 60 frames a second and just use different use case, etc. Grab some ride footage until we got our race numbers or our ride numbers.
Timing chips.
That we have to stick on the bike, and
at the back
goes right where the camera is on the bike. I had a quick look at relocating it couldn't be done, so the Fly 6 stayed in the car. I was pretty disappointed with that. Again, there's a use case that you'll never see in a shop. If you walk into a shop and go, hey, this is a bike camera, cool, no worries. People had them and then they put their timing chips in weird spots. But I want to sort of stick to the rules and put the timing chip where they said to put the timing chip. I was a bit disappointed with that. Okay. But as I was saying, you don't go into a shop and go, oh, I want to use this for a ride. Oh, by the way, you can't use it when there's timing chips hanging out the back of your bike. It's just... Anyway, they're the things people discover after the fact, after you put the money down.
Like also when you talk about a format on the back of the bike, that was one of the features of the first Varia radar that was horizontal. Yeah. Because it didn't take up like the height of your seat post. It was ugly.
God, it was ugly.
But it meant that you could have it horizontal, and if you had a short seat post, you didn't have so much problem with it.
Yeah, okay, yeah, in form factor, yeah, for sure. But when we're talking about timing chips that are like this wide and flap around, and I mean, it's just, you're never going to have a camera out the back of the bike for that kind of thing. But what I needed, but again, I just had to find another solution if I was to use that. And I'm like, too hard, camera stays in the go, bike doesn't stay in the car. I wasn't going to ride the camera for 140 Ks. Yeah, anyway, just a bit of a disappointment with that. People were asking me, can I try it in 60 frames? I tried. My use case doesn't happen like that. Anyhow, what else are we going to cover, Von? That's probably about it for today. I'm still feeling pretty good after that. You, your legs, lungs? Obviously you're a little sick.
I've got definitely
Traumatic stress?
Yes, traumatic stress.
Those hills and that wind was a bit...
But overall, we'll see how the legs pull up. They feel like they need a soak in the bath, I think.
It is. And speaking, I'm not to joke about post-traumatic stress, it's a real thing. There's a lot of when I finish a session or a really hard, windy noise, there's just this, it's a bit stressful. I mean, levels of stress is all different, but I mean, there's billions of different types of stress, but riding into a wind with that noise blasting past your ears, I'll ride with headphones, even with no actual music playing, just to stop that noise blast past your ears, because it gives me a bit of anxiety out there. It's like you don't know if a car's coming behind you. The Varia radar helps, but today there's too many things going on around.
You couldn't even hear a beep out there today.
Yeah, with that wind. But it's
Varia.
nice. And when we sat down on the grass, that's almost a de-stress or a debrief. We just talk, how did you find the hills? And some people are coming up and saw the YouTube channel and talking to me about what tech they were using and stuff. That was great. Love having a chat to people who watch the stuff and give me their feedback.
Yeah.
It's a time to unwind from these events.
Yeah.
And I think that's also important. Something else that's important after a race, we didn't bring, well, having raced for years, we always had recovery drinks in the car.
Yeah.
We had wipe down towels, we had everything. And Von, today we're getting changed in the car. We're pros at getting changed in the car. After how many years? I can even put a skin suit that's about this big on in the car without even being noticed. It's a skill you learn from having to change out of the public eye. Baby wipes, hot tip, that's today's tip. Baby wipes or wet wipes in the car for your face and head. You can't obviously have a shower after a race like that, but before you drive home, baby wipes, wet wipes, maybe even a towel with water, it just makes a world of difference. Just refresh.
Feel a little bit more human.
Fresh set of clothes on and just de-stress, especially after a noisy, windy, long ride, stressful ride like that. Just have a few minutes to yourself.
Yeah, try to get out of the kit as soon as you can.
Yeah, sham time once the riding is over, sham time's bad time. So that's all good.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's our tips. Just a bit of a chit-chat as we're driving home from today's event. So again, we'll leave it there. Links below to both the Stravas. Give Von a kudos. She did really, really well today.
Oh, thank you.
And what's coming up next? I can't even think. You've got a bit of travel? I mean, this is all leading up to our Tour Down Under week, rides around in summer.
I don't know. I need to
Reassess?
come up with a new goal, maybe.
Well, it's really hard once you've ridden that far.
Yeah.
For 5 hours, that's pretty hard. Just trying to think, when am I next going to do it? Let's just think about that tomorrow. On that note, we may see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Thanks for coming, Von.
Thank you.
Cheers.